Good morning everybody, I am Sarah with the trains and today I'm up bright and early heading off on a mission to travel around the compass on an Anglia Plus Day Ranger. And by that I mean I'm going to go as far north, south, east and west as I can on this ticket all in one day. So I'm now going to make like the village people, or like the pet shop boys, depending how old you are, and I'm going to go west to Cambridge, that is not San Francisco.
This is your 6:27 service to Stansted Airport, due to arrive at Stansted 8:22.
So about the ticket I'm travelling on today. It's an Anglia Plus one-day Ranger. It covers most of Norfolk, Suffolk and parts of Cambridgeshire. It's valid after 8:45 AM Monday to Friday or all day on weekends and bank holidays. You can hop on and off and go up and down the lines as much as you want all day. It costs £26.50 for an adult ticket, but for me it's £17.45 because I've got a rail card.
The next stop will be Cambridge. Welcome to the 7:48 Greater Anglia service to Stansted Airport.
Well, we have made it to our westernmost point of the day, Cambridge. So let's explore the station and its history too. So this station was opened in 1845 by the Eastern Counties Railway, and I think I'm going to hand over to narration Sarah now because its history and all the various lines that have been here and are here, I think she needs to explain them. In 1845, there were services running to Cambridge from Bishopsgate Station in London via Stratford and Bishop's Stortford. In the same year, the line to Norwich also opened. Then in 1847, a line between St Ives and Huntingdon opened, as well as a line from Ely to Peterborough via March. Then in 1851, a line from Newmarket to Cambridge was extended to Bury St Edmunds to allow through running to Ipswich. In 1862, the Bedford and Cambridge Railway opened. In 1865, the Great Eastern Railway opened the Marks Tey to Shelford line via Sudbury and Haverhill. This enabled direct services from Cambridge to Colchester. In 1866, the Midland Railway built the Kettering to Huntingdon line with some services running to Cambridge. In the same year, the Great Northern Railway began operating services between Cambridge and King's Cross. In 1882, the Great Northern and Great Eastern Joint Railway opened. This was a main route for coal traffic from the northeast to East Anglia. There were also direct services between London, Cambridge and York. Then in 1884, the Fordham line opened, joining the main line to Ely and Barnwell Junction. In 1885, a branch line to Mildenhall opened with services direct to Cambridge. Sadly, as with most stations, there were closures to come. The Mildenhall line closed to passengers in 1962. The Colchester via Haverhill and Sudbury line closed in 1967. On the Varsity line, which linked Cambridge and Oxford, passenger services to Bedford were withdrawn in 1967, as well as the line from March to St Ives. The St Ives to Cambridge line was closed to passengers in 1970, with freight being withdrawn in 1992. These days the station is served by Greater Anglia, Cross Country, Great Northern and Thameslink. I don't think I've missed any out. Now in terms of facilities at the station, you've got a lot of food and drink outlets, waiting shelters, benches, plenty of platforms. There's even a photo me booth. Toilets. Did I mention toilets? There's toilets. I am now just going to step a little bit to my left. And I am now standing on the third longest railway platform in the country. It is actually split into platforms 1 and 4 by, I think it's some kind of a scissor crossing thing. I think that's what it's called, because it's engineered so that trains can pass one that's sitting in at the platform. So if there's something at platform 1, which is where I am, something coming from platform 4 can go past it, and 4 is where I got off the train. Interestingly, although I unfortunately didn't catch it on camera because it happened just as I was coming out of the toilet, I have finally seen a Class 720 in the flesh. We are now looking down the full length of the 3rd longest railway platform in the country. See, I wasn't lying. Plenty of benches. I have set myself an additional challenge for the day, which is to get food and or drink at any station I stop at that has refreshment facilities, because so many of the stations I go to have nothing in the way of food that you can buy.
Next train at platform 4 is the 8:13 Greater Anglia service to Cambridge North. Calling at Cambridge North. This train is...
Ooh, and here comes another 720. There is also this beautiful historic station building, which is Grade 2 listed. There's even this little statue outside. I think it's a statue. There's a string on it. Is this art? Is it just wrapped? I don't know. And a tin of M&S salted caramel espresso. Of course, what else? And opposite the station we've got some very important buildings indeed. There's a Cafe Nero and there's a Greggs. And I can see a Pret-a-Manger down there. I don't really rate Pret, to be perfectly honest. I'm now going to take a walk to a nice bridge that I saw on the map, because that looks like a fun place to visit. There are so many bicycles in Cambridge, they don't just have a car park at the station, there's actually a cycle park as well. Like an enormous cycle park. Ooh, I found an Amazon locker on the station car park. Apparently its name is Nuts. Now I've had that nice little wander through that enclosed bridge, I am going to sort of meander back to the station, because I've not got long until my next train to take me to the most southerly point you can go to on an Anglia Plus Day Ranger, and I do just want to get something to eat or drink or both at the station, because I did buy some chocolate caramel shortbread and a bottle of water at Norwich, which I'll prove when I get onto the train. interestingly, we have an old disused post box. Bye bye Cambridge. I'll have to make it a longer visit next time. So I went to the West Cornwall Pasty Company for a Cornish pasty and a hot chocolate. And now here's the stuff I bought in Norwich. So I've completed the food challenge at 2 of the stations where I could have got food. Let's see how I do the rest of the day.
Welcome to this service for Ipswich. We will be calling at Newmarket, Kennet, Bury St Edmunds, Thurston, Elmswell, Stowmarket, Needham Market and Ipswich. We are now approaching Ipswich, where this train terminates.
Well, we have made it to Ipswich. Now before you say, surely Ipswich isn't as far south as you can go, it's not. It's just the place we've got to change up to get to the furthest south you can go on this particular ticket. But let's have a little look at the facilities and the station history. Now the first station in Ipswich opened in 1846, but it wasn't actually this one. It was at the other end of this tunnel over here. The station was relocated to its current location in 1860, originally having one main platform and a couple of little bay platforms. It's now got 4 platforms in total, and there are plenty of facilities here at Ipswich. The island platform I'm standing on at the moment, better known as platforms 3 and 4, was actually put here in 1893 by the Great Eastern Railway. You've still got lovely station buildings. Obviously we've got information posters, mind the gap signs. We've got a 745 over on the other platform, although I think that is temporary. I don't think that's permanent. Over on platform number 2, I can see they've got another photo booth like at Cambridge. There's also the ticket hall and food outlets, WH Smith's. Up there we've got the footbridge to get between platforms, so let's go over that. Ooh, a flappy plastic bin! Wait, what do I spy? There's another footbridge? Have I ever been to a station that's got 2 footbridges fulfilling the same purpose? I don't know. Ah, I have spotted something up here. I have found the reason there is another footbridge. It's the lift between the platforms to provide level access. So, I at first thought the 2-foot bridges were crazy. Not in the least. Heading back down to platforms 3 and 4, there are vending machines. Ooh, bin again. Here over on platform 1 and 2, we've got information signs. Explore the East Suffolk line. I've seen plenty of these accessibility ramps. And of course there is plenty of benches. Lots more travel information. And over here we've got a waiting room and a massive amount of cycle parking down at the bottom. On at the minute was opened in 1860, the same as the station building, to connect the station to the town that it served. There we have the station building. Out the front of the station you have got taxi rank and bus stops, and there is the entrance to the ticket office. There is also the multi-storey car park for the station. Anyway, now it's time to go to the toilet, get something to eat and or drink, and most importantly of all, head off to our next destination, which is the most southerly point you can go on this ticket, which is Felixstowe.
Welcome to this service for Felixstowe. We will be calling at Westerfield, Derby Road, Chenley and Felixstowe.
We're shortly arriving into Felixstowe where this train completes its journey. Please remember to take all your personal belongings with you before leaving the train. On behalf of the train crew driver, thank you for travelling with Great Sheringham this morning. And final stop is Felixstowe.
We have made it to our most southerly station today, which is Felixstowe, and it is a very cute tiny little station. I'll show you around. It's not really going to take long because there's only one platform now. We've got some information signs, a couple of flappy plastic bins, a sign telling you where the rail replacement buses will depart from, and an arrow to tell you where they depart from. Sign for cycle parking and motorcycle parking. Motorcycle parking is here. An assistance for your journey sign. Information about engineering works and train times, and general information about Felixstowe and the line. You've got a little departure screen which tells me I've got about an hour until my next Ipswich train. The ticket machine, the help point, the little waiting shelter with benches and non-flappy bin. Further down the platform we have got an Amazon locker, more benches, another departure screen, some cycle parking actually on the platform, a flappy plastic bin that's too full to flap, an accessibility ramp and a Greg's bag. Now part of the platform is covered over, as you can see, but down here we have got bright sunshine and some planters, along with more benches and a lovely welcome to Felixstowe sign. Now this station originally opened in 1898 and was called Felixstowe Town. That was to make sure it wasn't mixed up with the pre-existing stations in Felixstowe, which were Felixstowe Beach and Felixstowe Pier. Although at one time the station was staffed, it is now a tiny unstaffed station. The trains from here only go to Ipswich. The station building does still exist, and I think they've done something kind of cool with it because it's basically become a little shopping centre. I'll go show you. This means that at this station there aren't technically food and drink outlets that are part of the station, but they are part of the old station building. So there is refreshments here if you want them. So far I haven't succeeded in my quest to get something to eat or drink at every station I can get something to eat or drink at, because I got talking to somebody at Ipswich and ran out of time to go and get a drink. So I've got to go back to Ipswich next, so I'll go and get a drink then, and that counts, I think. So as you can see, we've still got the old canopies in place attached to the old station building. So we've still got this beautiful old railway architecture, which I really love. I love that this is still in place. And the name of the little shopping arcade, whatever you want to call it, is actually Great Eastern Square, like Great Eastern Railway, so that's really cool. And here you have it, the beautiful station building that has now been repurposed to this cute little shopping centre. So I've never actually been to Felixstowe before, so what I'm going to do now is take a little walk to the beach because I've got a bit of time before my next train. So let's go and see the sea. I am actually quite sad that this is just such a short visit to the beach here, because I really do like Felixstowe, it turns out. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it might be all docks and fish, but no, it's really pretty, and I think I'll come back one day. But we do have a train to catch, because we've still got 2 more compass points to go. So nearly back at the station now, and even though Felixstowe station doesn't technically have its own refreshments and shops, because it is just that one platform, I did nip into the Great Eastern Square to get a bottle of water and a Kit Kat from the little co-op that's in there. So I've actually completed that part of my challenge at this station, but it's not official because they don't really have the facilities. I don't know, it counts. So once again I am on a train, and once again we're going to Ipswich. Now back at Ipswich, waiting for my next train to take me to the most easterly point I can go on this ticket, which is Lowestoft. I've completed my mission to get a refreshment at Ipswich, even though I only had a short amount of time, so it was either a refreshment or toilet. I chose refreshment. I can go for a pee on the train.
Welcome to this service for Lowestoft. We will be calling at Woodridge, Melton, Wickham Market, Saxmundham, Darsham, Halesworth, Brampton, Beccles, Oulton Broad South and Lowestoft.
To Lowestoft, the furthest east you can go on the ticket. I need to find a bin to put this in, and also this is the furthest east station wise, but I'm going to go one better. Let's go. We have of course been to Lowestoft before in the Travelling the Wherry Line series. Ooh, also there is a super cute little market going on. We are nearly there. Can nearly see it. Here we are. This is Ness Point, the furthest east you can go in the British Isles. So I have made it to Lowestoft Ness, the furthest east you can go in the British Isles. So I've definitely crossed off the eastern compass point for this challenge, and I've just got north left to go. I also have a leaflet for the First Light Festival that's on in Lowestoft today, courtesy of Tim from the Wherry Lines Community Partnership. Cheers, Tim. Just for the avoidance of doubt, there was a Wherry Lines community thing on at Lowestoft Station today. Tim didn't just mail this to me. Be a bit weird if he did, he doesn't have my address. I don't wish to call into question the life-saving equipment here at Lowestoft Ness, but I'm really not sure how much a rose is realistically going to do. And just to point out, this really significant spot in the British Isles is actually tucked away behind a rather unassuming industrial estate. So after that brief trip to Lowestoft Ness, nice little chat again with Tim from the Wherry Lines Community Rail Partnership, I'm going to head off to my northern compass point today and head off to Sheringham, which involves going back to Norwich but not going home. Mustn't go on autopilot and go through the ticket barriers. I'm not going to lie, it's been a long day. So we are now heading off to our last compass point of the day, north, which is Sheringham.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Warm welcome to passengers on the train at Norwich. Welcome to Great Train Blair 16:45 service for Sheringham. Scheduled arrival time is 17:45.
Well, I have made it to Sheringham, which means I've done it. I've completed my challenge for today of going around the compass on an Anglia Plus Day Ranger ticket. I've been north, south, east and west as far as you can go, and now I think it's time for me to go and get some chips and a drink because I've got about an hour before my train back to Norwich. It's been a very long day, but it's been very worth it. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I will see you all next time for another adventure. Special thank you to everybody who supports me on Ko-fi and on Patreon. And if you do support me on Patreon, if you're a patron, your name is going to be on the screen now. As always, a massive thank you to all my supporters on Patreon. You really do keep this channel going. For anybody who wants to become a patron, there is a link in the description below. But now it's time for a final word from me. Well, now that I've been and had chips and ice cream, it suddenly occurred to me that I forgot to mention I've succeeded in my other goal for the day as well. Every station where I could get refreshments, I did, including Lowestoft, where I got a bottle of water, but I didn't show that on camera for some reason. Norwich was caramel slices and a bottle of water. Cambridge was a pasty and hot chocolate. Ipswich, the second time, was a watermelon and mint refresher. Felixstowe was a bottle of water and a Kit Kat. Lowestoft was a bottle of water, and, well, I've just been for chips and ice cream here, although it's not attached to the station, but I had refreshments in Sheringham, and I think that needs to be noted. Okay. It's definitely goodbye from me for now.